Good morning and welcome to Tuesday morning Zoom. I want to tell you, I'm really sorry that I wasn't able to do Zoom yesterday. I really did miss you guys, but there's only so many hours in a day and only so much of me to go around. And I was just like, I just can't do all of it. I want to remind everybody I am leaving for vacation tomorrow. When I say leaving, I still will be here, but I'll be off from school. I'm still going to be answering text messages and emails. And I will still be doing attendance and stuff like that. I know I said in the little post that I sent out that I would be giving another instructor's number. Y'all, I've never done that, and I don't think I'm ever going to. I don't operate that way. I'm possessive. Y'all are mine. You should not be asking another instructor anything, right? So I'll still be doing little things like that, but I actually won't be working on any assignments or anything, any grading, anything of that nature. Let's see what else. Also, this module's coming to a close really, really fast. I'm not talking to anybody that's in front of me right now necessarily. Remember, I'm recording this and it's going out to the whole class. But I have several students who have not completed assignments, 1 or 2 assignments for the module. You're going to fail this module if you do not complete your assignments. Plain and simple. I'm not getting the day before the module ends and y'all scream and help at me. It will not happen. You will fail. Now, if you need help, then please reach out by the end of the day. And I will do everything I can to help you, but I cannot do the work for you guys. I try to make it as simple as possible. I never ask for a lot of submissions. And if I give you, say there's 30 coding problems in one assignment, I only ask you to turn in 10 of them, something like that. I'm not telling you not to do the other ones, but if you're busy, do the ones I'm asking for, submit them, and then go back later and do the ones that I'm not asking for. You need to do all of your exercises, your reviews, your workbook. Even though I'm not assigning it, that is something as a student you should do for extra practice. So I'm thinking I'll leave for vacation tomorrow. I will be back next Thursday and we will have a Zoom, a regular lecture Zoom next Thursday. You are hitting the evaluation and management portion. And it is my favorite, but unfortunately, due to circumstances that's going on with my family right now, I just haven't been able to nail into it like I want to. But that's fine because we have time in this, and I'm going to go backwards when I get back. We're going to do some other stuff. Let me think. I should have made notes, right? Because, memory and me, not so great right now. I think that's really all the announcements. All right, Stacy, if you start doing that, I'm going to yawn. You're going to be able to see straight down to my stomach.
I've been awake since 7 o'clock Thursday night or whatever night. Wait, today Tuesday?
Yeah.
Monday night? Because I work nights.
Yeah, I know. And I was just giving you a hard time. I appreciate you staying up to be in class with us. I really do. I can imagine how tired you are. All right. So we're going to talk about a couple of things today. It's not going to be a long class because, usually Tuesday isn't. We're just going to do a snippet into some questions some students had this week. One of the questions that I've gotten several comments about and questions about is it was a bell ringer, and it was like, why do E&M codes start with 99 and not 0? That a question? Okay, so when the CPT was first formed, when they first started doing the CPT, they did not do evaluation and management codes. They were left out. They were just doing surgery codes. But as things started to upgrade and improve and technologies advanced, they were like, hey, we need these evaluation and management codes. Well, they couldn't rewrite the whole CPT, right? So what they did is they took the 9-9, which is the very last section, and went ahead and made evaluation and management start with 9-9. It's because evaluation and management came later than other parts of the CPT. And they didn't want to rewrite all those codes, right? That's a lot of rewrite. So they just added to the end and made it to the beginning. And I want you guys to remember, evaluation and management codes are the most common codes used in the CPT. That's why they're in the front and they just didn't make it to the back, because they wanted it handy for billers and coders to be able to get there. I also want to remind you, and I think I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Evaluation and management codes are very, very important. So very seldom is a coder going to choose what evaluation and management code to bill. The doctor almost always chooses that for the coder. So why do we do evaluation and management codes? Why are we learning this? Well, I'm just going to tell you a quick story. I was working at my coding job, and I was coding for a really big cardiology clinic. And one of our doctors always used the same discharge code, no matter how long it took, because there's only 2 discharge CPT codes. And one is for like 30 minutes and under, and one was for over 30 minutes. Most discharge take a little more than 30 minutes, but he was always just shy. He just charged the 30 minutes. And he repeated that code thousands and thousands and thousands of times. Whenever a physician only codes one code, it sends up red flags to be audited, because things are not the same every single time. So I was able to discuss with the doctor the timing, and he was like, oh, I didn't even realize I could pick the other code. Well, yeah, watch your times. And I pulled medical records where they had transcribed, and the minutes were there. And I was like, A, B, C, and D, you could have charged 99239 this time, but you charged a 99232. So even though you're not choosing the codes necessarily for E&M, there's always a way to help your doctor in your facility learn more about coding. If there's a mistake in timing and he's charging less, you can go and say, hey, doc, this was a 99214, not a 99212. You know what I mean? And you're not going to be able to check every single record that comes through, but you're going to catch quite a few of those. And so it puts you in a better position as a biller or a coder, so that you can tell the doctor where he can make more money, but in a respectful way. You don't want to go in there half-cocked and, hey, I know my stuff. You always want to bring it to the doctor in a way of, hey, doc, did you know that we could? And it would help your facility and gain you lots of respect from your doctor. So I just wanted to throw that out there and explain why we delve so much into E&M coding. And it's because of that. It's for knowledge. All right, so I want you to get out your CPT manuals, and I want you to turn to page 33. And what we're looking for is your critical care codes, your total duration of critical care. It's just a little table there. And this was another source of great concern. So we're going to go over this. This was one of your assignments. I believe it was a bell ringer too. And it looks very intimidating, right? But when you compare it to your time, your total duration of critical codes, that little example there, we're going to go through these, and you're going to realize that it's really not all that difficult. It just looks intimidating. So let's look at number one. It's 1 hour and 45 minutes. So let's look at our time. So the first one is 30 to 74 minutes. That's not it. We're looking for 1 hour and 45. So if we go down, I think it's 1, 2, 3. It says 1 hour and 45 minutes through 2 hours and 14 minutes. So your answer here on number 1 on your first blank would be 99291. And they have a ×1 here. You can use that, or you can leave it off, because if it's ×1, it just means it's that one, right? So I don't, but for the sake of being completely accurate. Then it's going to be 99292 and then times 2. Did that make sense?
Why are we putting both of them in there? Times 2.
Okay, well, the first code is 99291. Let's look at what 99291 says. That's your first 30 to 74 minutes. And then 99292 is an add-on code, and it's for each additional 30 minutes. So in order for the doctor to get paid for all the time, you have to use your regular code and your add-on code. And I love the fact that they've taken all the guesswork out of us by giving us this little chart here. So let's look at number 2, 45 minutes. So what would our code be for number 2?
Nine 99291
Yes.
times 1.
Yes. And again, it's
First.
times 1 in the CPT, but it doesn't give us, it doesn't have a times for that on our examples. I don't want you to be bogged down by the times 1. The times 1 can be left off because times 1 again just means that one. I don't know why it's labeled that way, unless some insurance prefer you to use times 1 when you're billing out. So let's look at number 3, 3 hours and 15 minutes. So the very last block says 195 minutes or longer, 3 hours, 15 minutes through, etc. So it says in the little thing, 99291 and 99292 as appropriate. So let's figure that out. Let's do some math so that we know that we're going to have to use, it's 195 minutes, right? We know we're going to have to use our 99291 because that's going to be our first 30 to 74 minutes. So we're going to subtract 74 minutes from 195. So that's 1, 2. So it leaves us 121 minutes. So we're going to have to use our 99292. And that's for every additional 30 minutes. So I'm going to give y'all an opportunity to figure that out. I told you it's a math lesson. So 30 times 4. So this is how my brain thinks, and please don't let me confuse you. I say how many half an hours makes up 121 minutes, right? So if we do 30 times 4, we get 120, right? So we only have 1 minute missing and we can't bill that minute. Does that make sense? Y'all aren't answering me. No, it doesn't
No.
make sense. Okay. All
I'm
right.
trying to make it make sense, but no.
Well, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Let's put it, let me scroll down. Let's do this. So what we're looking for in our scenario is 195 minutes, right? So if we look at 99291, which we have to use first no matter what, it says from 30 minutes to 74 minutes. So the highest that we can bill for a 99291 is 74 minutes. So we need to subtract that 74 minutes here. So once we subtract that, it comes to up to 121. So that means that we have 121 minutes left to bill for. So a 99292, which we have to add on to that 99291, is 30 minutes only. So we have to figure out how many half an hours equals 121. How many 30 minutes rotations equals 121. So I just did multiplication. I said, okay, 30 times
4.
3. Well, 30 times 3 is 90, right?
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't equal the 121. So we have to
Right.
even go higher. So if we do 30 times 4, it equals 120, right?
Yes.
So we need a
1 minute.
Go ahead.
Oh, we're off 1 minute.
Right. But if we don't need the minute. Because we can't bill for anything under 30 minutes anyway. There's no code for it because 99291 is 30 minutes at the least. So that 1 minute doesn't matter. So what we're going to have is a 99291, a 99292 times what? 4.
Got that wrong.
You didn't know you were going to have to come to math class, did you?
No.
But since I put it here, does it make more sense since I made it visual?
Yes. Yes. I'm a visual person when it comes to math.
Well, I wrote it down, Abigail. I had to write it down on paper. I didn't have it in my head. So, all right. So let's try the next one. Number 4, 165 minutes. Okay, Stacy, you give us this one.
What, 99291 and 99292. On my answer, I put 4, but that's probably wrong.
No, you're right. You're right. All right. Let's go to number 5. 95 minutes with an additional hour. Okay, for right now, let's find our 195 minutes. Well, again, we're going all the way to the bottom. So what is an automatic given? We automatically know that we need a what? We already know we need the 99291, right? So let's, all right, well, we kind of have it here already figured out, right? 195 minutes. And we know that we need the 99291 and we need the 99292 times 4 equals 120. And that's our 195 minutes. But we have to add more. Why?
Because of the additional hour.
Oh, yeah.
So we can't just do 99292 times 4. We have to add the additional hour. So we would do a 9. Go ahead.
99292 times 6.
That's right. Abigail, do you want to figure that up visually?
Yes, please.
Okay. So do I need you? Okay. So so we have 195 minutes. And then we had to subtract the 74 because that's the most of 99291 to give us. That left us with 120 minutes. So 30 times 4 is 120. So we would have to have the 99292 times 4 is 120 minutes, but right here is our we have to add an extra hour. So that means that we need 99292 2 more times, because we need to add 120 plus 30 is 150 plus 30 is 180. And then the rest is covered by our 195. Okay, I didn't even understand what I just said. Stacy, break it down for us. How did you know that that's what the answer was?
I guessed.
Okay, let's redo. I wasn't planning on doing math this morning either. Okay, so we have the 195 minutes, right? So we know the fact that we had to do 195 minutes right here. So we already know the answer to this is 99292 times 4. But they added an hour. So we have 4, right? For 195 minutes, it's 99291, 99292 times 4. That's the answer for 195. But we have another hour that we have to tack on. So 99292 is 30 more minutes. So an hour is 2 30 minutes, and that makes 6.
Yes.
This is as visual as I can get on this one.
Yeah, I got it. I got it now.
Okay. So yeah, I can see where this was a little confusing. And I just promised some students that I would go over it in today's class and send the recording, because, you know, it's kind of like, okay, are you really expecting us to math? Well, yeah, a little bit, not too bad. You're not figuring out prescriptions and pharmaceuticals and all of that. So it makes it pretty easy. All right. So does anybody have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. Well, don't forget, I leave for vacation tomorrow, but you can still text or email me. Please note that if I don't get back to you right away, that my husband's father passed away and I have lots of things going on in those few days. But I will get back to you, I promise. Aisha, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, there you are. Do you have a question?
No, ma'am.
All right. Everybody have a wonderful day and a great rest of the week. And I'll see you next Thursday. You'll hear from me before then, I'm sure, but bye, guys.
Bye, Miss Gallagher.
Bye.